Hello, and welcome to our book study of Rise of the False Gods. I'm so glad that you have joined me for this study tonight. Know that we have got videos of all of our classes on YouTube. You can just type in, sorry about that, you can just type in Rise of the False Gods in the YouTube search bar and Alicia Leslie, and you'll come up with the folder that has all of our episodes, chapters, whatever you want to call it, in it. So check it out, and you can enjoy a great way to find transformation through illumination. As always, I welcome questions and comments, and I'm so glad to have you with me. So like and share also. So if it was good for you, share it, because maybe somebody else would like it too. Tonight we are going to begin on page 86, 2/3 of the way down the page, and it says, Signs of False Gods at Work. Now, by the way, you can get a copy of this book on Amazon.com. You can also get a Kindle version for only $4.99, or if you're a Prime member, you can get it for free on Kindle. Who can beat that, you know? But frankly, I like to get the actual book because this is what I do to books. I always want to make sure I know right where to go to what was important to me. So I'm going to begin to read from page 86. The presence of false gods is exposed as we learn to discern the signs that are everywhere when we look. We talked about this a little bit last night about having the foresight and hindsight to start to recognize those signs. Now you see, not everything is a big sign. Remember we talked last night about little foxes spoiling the vine? Well, we want to know that we have to look also at the distance, what happened a year ago as opposed to what happened 5 minutes ago. Now we can experience the causes and effects instantly, instant karma I call it. The more you're spiritually awakened, the closer it comes. And the good news is the more we recognize when we've had an episode of worshiping or giving worth to false gods, which means a false sense of good, then the less we suffer, because we don't do that anymore, because we found out it hurts. Okay, if we notice a focus on self and money or stuff, that's a sign of false gods being behind it. Today, and I have to say this every day now, you will probably find that you may be offended by something I say, and I invite you to let that roll, to just go with it, see if there's anything you can glean from what I have to say. Just consider the possibility, okay? So, because I get in a lot of trouble because I feel committed to share this stuff, and I share it with whoever will listen. Okay, so today, the importance of church and God in our lives has diminished. Churches that were once full and bustling, the attendance has declined as the population has increased. So it doesn't make sense. But a lot of times people say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. I don't need that stuff. That's a lot of hooey. But a spiritual foundation is so helpful in living a good life and a life of integrity and staying in alignment with spiritual principle that prevents a lot of negative backlash. Churches are empty, but the parking lots at malls are full. Well, not now during COVID, but let's pretend that, there will be people that may be reading this years from now, maybe even long enough that they'll say, COVID? I don't remember that. Ooh. A lot of kids today They don't remember 9/11, you know? They had no clue. And Holocaust, a lot of people think that's just a conspiracy theory. But that's our choice, to turn a blind eye, because if we choose to turn a blind eye instead of looking for the signs, we will just have to accept the consequences that are inevitable. So Tumal is what I call the temple of Mammon. That means the place where people worship wealth and stuff. And also because you want to have a lot of stuff, because it strokes your ego and makes you feel like you're, for some reason, more valuable, which one absolutely is not. I don't know what the Dalai Lama actually owns, but he certainly has high value, as well as Jesus. Oh, I know they said he had the seamless robe. Now, that was amazing. Can you imagine 2,000 years ago being able to make a garment without a seam? Pretty interesting. Would have been pretty expensive. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about spiritual value. I can't even put a spiritual value on Jesus' teaching. There is no value. It's beyond. But these are a sign. That's a sign that the mammon is active in our lives, in our world today. The Hartford Institute of Religious Research shows while 40% of Americans attend church, the true figure is like 20%. Can you imagine that? It doesn't matter what church you go to. It's just something that acknowledges there is something greater than us, something we can aspire to, something that can support us and protect us and guide us. We want a relationship. God has many names and many faces, but all has the same nature. Good, all good. Attendance at church, temple, mosque, etc. of our choice provides spiritual guidance and a support system of kindred spirits. This is why if you attend a church, you should only attend a church that speaks to you. You should not attend a church because you're afraid that if you don't attend that church, you're going to go to hell. I mean, the way I always saw it is that, I used to go to church so I wouldn't go to hell. Then I found out that I go to church so I don't create my own living hell, because that's what we tend to do. As they say, there's your sign. A support system of kindred spirits is amazing. It's people you can run your problems by, and they're not gonna buy into your error. They're gonna give you support of holding on, and they'll keep the high watch. I just got a message minutes ago to pray for a young girl, 16, who went to the hospital with a grand mal seizure in the ER, and I invite you to hold thoughts with me for her, because I believe in the power of prayer. So will you pray with me right now? Right now, seeing everything in divine order, seeing that the doctors and their staff are working, guided by spirit, and the family is able to establish the peace that passes understanding and help everyone that loves her be soothed and knowing all is well. When we come together to worship, which means to give worth to God, so we give worth to God, we give worth to all that is good, we give worth to something greater, okay? Which we are strengthened. We are strengthened. Not taking part in a spiritual community leaves us more vulnerable to our own ego and false gods. There's no weekly teaching to help us. Now, I happen to listen almost daily to Joyce Meyer, who has a theology that is not aligned with mine, but a big piece of it is. And so she's a part of my prayer time. So I will watch and listen and see what I agree with and what I don't agree with and weigh the metaphysics of it. So it's something, but it's a feeding. You don't want to be spiritually starving, okay? When you go to church, you go to be fed. And a lot of people have said, oh, well, the church is always asking for money. Well, the church wouldn't be asking for money if people gave, if they supported it. That's their church. That's their spiritual home. That's why they want it. Everybody wants a church that is beautiful and meaningful and have a minister that is trained and educated and experienced and the minister gives their life to that church. Believe me, I'm a minister. I know. And people that say to me after service, well, what do you do with the rest of your week? They don't know what giving your life to God and being a minister means. So when you give to your church, when you give to spiritual sources of food, this is, you go to come out filled, because the world, especially today, the world is going to beat you to death. Depression, despair. We're living in crazy times. Do you think it would help if more people went to the church of their choice? The mosque, the temple, wherever it is, they get spiritual food. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Ministers do give much more than just their lives. What? No. We give our thoughts, we give our feelings oh yes, ministers need so much prayer. They truly do. People tend to put a minister up on a pedestal, but they're still human beings. They're still, they still may not fill some role model you have of what a minister is. I won't lie. Cuss word slips out of my mouth once in a while. I won't lie. I have a glass of wine every day. Or if I was going to the bowling alley, I might have a beer and a slice of pizza. One time, I had a congregation member leave the church because she was a recovering alcoholic and could not accept that her minister drank. It is what it is. And I have to be okay with that, and I have to be okay with being who I am. So don't put your minister on a pedestal. Let them be for you a source of inspiration and encouragement, even though they are human. So pray for your minister, your rabbi, your imam, whatever you're praying for, the holy people. Pray for them today. Pray for your church to be strong and healthy and have enough funds that when it's time to go back to church, the building, your spiritual home will be there. Don't stop supporting your church and don't stop supporting your ministers. Please, we need them so much. And when we get back to church, I thank God for Zoom that we can still do church services. So please, honor your church. It's going to feed you so much. It's going to help you. If you've been away from church, go online and look up a church service. Look up, your church probably has a service. Look it up by your faith group. Look it up by Unity, because I'm Unity. You can go to Reverend Alicia Leslie, Spirit of Unity Church online, and you can find bunches of videos that I have done church services. Haven't done them in a while, but there's a thing about truth. Truth never changes. It's absolute, eternal, and unchanging. The circumstances we live in may change, but the truth that we teach never changes. We got to hold on to that. These are challenging times. False gods are trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy democracy, not just in the United States, but around the world. They're trying to destroy freedom and respect and love and community that we all deserve to have. Please, please support the church that feeds your soul. And if you don't have one, find one. I call you to do that. By the way, if you look up a Unity Church, you're going to find love and respect and a teaching that will give you a way of life that works. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Whew. Okay. We can be very vulnerable to our false gods if we don't have a spiritual support system. Now, you know, there are spiritual support systems other ways. Sometimes they're in book studies or movie clubs or AA meetings or any of the those support groups, all kinds of support groups, if they are spiritually grounded. Well, you know, I used to go to Toastmasters. I'm a CTM, a certified competent Toastmaster. I haven't gone in 30 years because once I went to school and started ministering, and I was on the platform every week. But Toastmasters was a very spiritual group because the people gave inspirational talks. So there's no place where God is not. But there are a lot of places where God is not acknowledged, or where God is denied, or where God is boarded off. Prayer and holiday pageants are no longer allowed in school. That is sad. That is so sad. I remember the Christmas pageants in school, and now in federal buildings and stuff like that, you can't put out nativity displays or menorahs or anything like that celebrate your faith. How sad, because the more things we put out, the more we know about different people and their faith. We become stronger, and we see that God is greater than we can ever imagine. I think I went a little off track. Let me try to get back on. Okay. Some communities do not allow religious holiday displays, while it is error. It is error to remove all forms of religious expression. It is equally erroneous to make everyone conform to one expression. If you're going to have a nativity scene out there, you darn well might want to add a menorah while you're at it, okay? All things. I have hanging outside of my cottage Tibetan prayer flags. Oh my goodness, we had a wonderful girls' weekend this year talking about Escape to Shangri-La. And we were delving into a little bit the Tibetan Hindu faith and Buddhism, and it was beautiful, beautiful. Prayer flags are also Buddhist, so a little bit of everything. Okay, Spirit did not intend for us to be all one religion, any more than Spirit intended our body to be a homogenized mass of flesh. We have organs, with each organ working together to support the whole. We are all free to practice the religion of choice. Our country is free to practice it, and we can't ban people that are wonderful and loving Muslims because they're Muslims. And we were attacked once by people who happened to be radical Muslims. We can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's good teachings. We have to look for the good. Religious tolerance and understanding let us explore and share each other's holidays, which can deepen our relationship with God. Let's not judge. Let's look for the good. Today, unfortunately, I know this is unpopular. I'm going to probably get nailed for this. True. Cheryl says, you couldn't have a nativity scene if it wasn't for the Jewish faith. Ain't that the truth? I like to remind people of that. Celebrities have replaced our heroes. There was a time when heroes and role models were abundant. Now, I have gotten in trouble for this by people who are having a different life experience and say, oh, there's a lot of role models around. For me, that's not what I see. I see that there is a shadow over actual well-known heroes that is more likely to be a sports figure, an actor, or someone from a reality show that we can't even figure out why are they famous to begin with and why are we watching this. Even shows that I probably watched some of them. I don't know these. You're thinking, is this for my highest good? All right. Okay. Once, heroes and role models were abundant. There are a few today, but not like before. Years ago, we had sports figures that were not accused of doping. We had astronauts, scientists, talented actors and actresses performing in family-friendly entertainment, stuff that doesn't blow stuff up and spatter everything with blood and guts and violence and even the saints, yes, I came from the Catholic tradition, which I left because it did not align with my spiritual philosophy. And some people don't believe that they should have statues in them. But you see, when you look at the statue as an image of the qualities of the saint that it was shaped for, that's different than worshiping a graven image or an idol that is just, we want it to be something that we can look up to. Okay? So, but our role models, there's doping, there's sex scandals, there's a lot of abuse, domestic abuse. We're not really called to come up higher. And again, if you have to add it all up, it's not one thing or another thing. All these little signs of the presence of false gods add up. Yes, the heroes are out there. They are. But we have to look harder for them because the false gods that tell us we need money, popularity, sensual satisfaction, and there's nothing wrong with sensual satisfaction in a healthy way, in a committed way. I'm not going to go there. I've gotten in trouble on that one before, so just watch the previous videos and you can get all that. And I'm going to visit again. Okay, so team loyalty is outmoded. Now, when I was a kid, I know everybody had their team and they loved their team and they loved the players in the team, and the players on the team would stay. They would wait to be on that team. That would be their goal from the time they were a kid. Wanted to be a Yankee, They wanted to be a Dodger, whatever, Dallas Cowboy, whatever it is. But now money rules that. The false god Mammon. And we have to fight to pay for tickets, largely unaffordable tickets to go see a game where the people are getting paid outrageous salaries. Outrageous. Stars get outrageous salaries. And we got to pay those salaries. So when you're griping about the price of the tickets, think about the price that the actors and actresses are getting. They worked a long, hard way to get there. And I'm not talking about the ones who are just so happy to have a job and happy to be acting and performing and not demanding outrageous things. So it's just something that has to come back into alignment. We have to look out for the star system that can cause us issues. You might or might not remember a movie called Rudy. And Rudy was a little guy. He was not a dwarf or a midget little guy, just a short person. And he wanted to play for Notre Dame. And that's what he wanted more than anything. And the whole movie was about the struggle he had to try to play for Notre Dame. Can you imagine having a goal like that and then making it? What are our goals today? What heroes lead us forward? You don't have to try to be that hero. You be your own hero. And maybe, me, I'm almost said 65, at 75 years old, And I may not be able to be a pro bowler, but I sure love to bowl, and I like to be on a league, and sometimes I do pretty good. So there's possibilities. Don't minimize your possibilities, and don't let anybody tell you what you need to buy or be in order to be worthy. You are born worthy, okay? Don't let those false gods run your lives. By the way, I got every much excited watching my kids play Little League, and even now when I get the chance to go to Kansas City to watch my son play hockey. And grown man, hockey league, it's wonderful. There are even women on the league, and they're nothing to mess with. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they can't do it right now. But I look forward to the day when that's over, and I hope he goes back to it, because let me tell you something, my boy is good at hockey. Okay, rather than wanting to play for a team, people play now for deals and dollars, and that's what's really sad, because those dollars aren't really going to make you happy. They're not in the end. Athlete and okay, I already did that piece. Oh yeah, athlete and celebrity paychecks are ludicrously high, while vital jobs such as teachers or CNAs or many other necessary essential workers' paychecks are far below what they should be. The high wages of celebrities drive up ticket prices, feeding mammon as we work longer hours to continue to pay those prices so we can enjoy a movie or a show. I acknowledge there are many actors that are working in local theater, even the regular theater, who are starving artists. They had to work hard to get where they're going. Not talking about them. I honor them, and I'm so happy that they are willing to, work as waitresses or waiters or whatever they have to do to be able to do their craft on the stage and give me joy. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the star system. There are stars everywhere, even in high school plays and local pubs when the pubs can open again. Big businesses have brought naming rights for stadiums and arenas and conference centers that now advertise their businesses instead of bearing names that honor the heroes we once loved. So that's worth thinking about. Okay, the name of a stadium or on the marquee makes them a shrine to Mammon and Baal, to popularity and money. Wouldn't it be nice if we had things we could look up to, if we had, our heroes' names emblazoned across stuff? And there are many of those wealthy athletes and actors and celebrities who are amazingly generous. And so those are not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who do it for the money, not for the love of what they do. That's how Mammon and Baal get into the picture. I am over time, so I am going to have to stop for today. What I want to talk about is this. Remember the little foxes chewing at the vine from yesterday? The false gods of Mammon and Baal in our world, it's not like they take big chunks out of our consciousness, out of our moral fiber, out of our virtues. It's the little nibbling, the little foxes that erode our foundations. Stay strong. Thank you for being with me, and I look forward to tomorrow, where we are going to continue from where we are. God bless you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.